All right, welcome. Thanks for coming. Today we're going to learn about Google AdWords. This class is brought to you by 3 organizations dedicated to helping small businesses grow and thrive in our community. They are Cal Poly Small Business Development Center, MCSC Women's Business Center, and SCORE. Cal Poly provides no-cost business consulting and resources to entrepreneurs and small business owners, including business planning and sourcing funding. I'm having trouble talking today, apparently. MCSC Women's Business Center provides support to individuals looking at self-employment as a viable option for their next career in SLO, Kern, and Monterey counties. We help startups and existing small businesses with mentoring and entrepreneurial training courses in English and Spanish. SCORE provides free mentoring, workshops, and tools to help your small business. In short, we're all here to help support you. I will put our contact information in the chat box shortly. I would like to thank Steve Burnside from Clever Ducks for presenting today. With a passion to help technology make sense, Steve can often be found speaking at local community organizations and events. When not conquering the tech world, Steve enjoys spending time with his 2 boys, playing guitar, and plotting for the next guitar acquisition. Have you acquired something since the last time we spoke to you, Steve?
Too many. I think there's been 2 acquisitions since the last time we talked.
And it's been a month.
It's been a month. I know. I have a deal with my wife, so if something comes in, I have it like at the side PayPal account. So stuff goes out, PayPal gets full, and then stuff comes in.
I love it. All right. Thanks for being here, Steve.
Of course.
So I just wanted to launch a quick poll to see how you found out about us. So go ahead and take 30 seconds to complete that. All right. So here's a few housekeeping items. Please limit your distractions and mute your phone so you can be fully present. Steve likes to go fast, so if you want to keep up, you want to be fully present. Your video is off and your microphone is muted, so you don't need to worry about that. We'll be taking questions in the chat box, and this class is being recorded, so we will send you an email with the link once it's processed. So thank you all for being here, and take it away, Steve.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody, for attending today's topic. If you were at the last one and the last topic was big, this one is bigger. So I really started thinking about how can I make sure in an hour that everybody here is empowered to take the next step? Because with Google Ads, just teaching about Google AdWords, I mean, that could be a 10 to 15 hour course that you need to go through. And I don't want it to be intimidating. And I realized, I think the most powerful thing for everybody to learn today is the different ways and having knowing the tools that are in your tool belt. Maybe that's the best way to describe that. So it used to be called Google AdWords. And over the last couple of years, Google has shifted that to just Google Ads. And Google Ads encompasses 6 different ways that you as an entrepreneur or your business can actually advertise through all of Google's tentacles out on the internet. So what I thought would be the most helpful to everybody is to review and help you understand those 6 different tools at a high level that are available in your tool belt, why you might want to use those tools, and then give you resources to help you get trained up on those tools so you can actually implement them for your business. So hopefully that sounds good to everybody. I hope you will be enlightened a little bit about what Google has to offer for small businesses today, and that this is all available to you, which a lot of people don't realize how much is available to them. We will go on a couple things. There are a couple pitfalls that I'm going to just point out and give just a little bit deeper. And then once again, if anything comes up, feel free to add questions in the chat. Okay, first off, I'm going to start sharing my screen here.
Steve, and I just wanted to remind you that today's is an hour and a half, this session.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So everybody can see my Google screen now. Obviously, Google is the largest search engine on the planet. Followed up, and a lot of people don't know this, but the second largest search engine on the planet is actually YouTube. And so Google owns YouTube. So the amount of people visiting and and using Google properties and assets is astronomical, which is why as a small business, you really do need to understand what Google has available to you. So we're going to start off with maybe the most simple of them all, and that is called search campaigns, or what you would kind of know as Google AdWords. So first off, if you go to ads.google.com, okay, this is what that will look like once you sign up for an account. Okay. Now, because once again, I told you earlier, Google took kind of AdWords and used to kind of do AdWords separately than YouTube, and it was kind of separated. They've kind of thrown everything in one dashboard here. So this is what the Google Ads dashboard looks like. There's a whole bunch of different tools and settings up here, and this is just a real brief overview. And then you have reports, search, but right here you see new campaign. So when I hit new campaign, you'll see it doesn't just pop up with one type of campaign anymore. So this used to be new campaign, I'm doing a Google AdWords campaign. Now you can see Google actually has different goals. And then if you hover over these goals, it'll show you in the gray there, it says campaign type. So you have search, display, shopping, video, and smart discovery under sales. And then you go under the leads, and it would be search, display, shopping, video, website traffic, local store visits, and promotion. This is awesome. We're going to talk about this in a little bit. But you can see each one of these goals is going to have different advertising types that you can do for those. By the end of today, you will know all of those advertising types, and you will at least know which direction you need to start getting educated on a little bit. So we're going to start with what is called Google AdWords. And so that's a search, right here in the campaign type where it says search, that's what this is. So we're going to type in something here, and let's just do, it doesn't matter. We can do kitchenwares. How about that? No, that was maybe a little too broad. How about pots and pans? There we go. Okay, so what we have here is this is what's called the search engine results page, SERP for short. So if you hear me say SERP, that's what this is, the search engine results page. We have a ton of ads on this page. Now, you guys probably aren't seeing this stuff over here. I have some extra widgets and things installed in my browser. But right here, you'll see that this little link here says ad for carawayhome.com, and it's Caraway Cookware. And this is an ad, right? This link is showing up because Caraway Home has taken out a search campaign ad, and based on what is being placed in this search bar, they have these links popping up. Now, here's one point I want to make. These are the simplest ads to get going, but at the same time, probably it's the most important you really understand the ads, because there are a lot of pitfalls, a lot of ways you can spend a lot of money without meaning to, because they are so simple. So it's simple because all you need is text, right? There's no picture, there's no video, you just have to come up with some text and you can run an ad. Now, how these ads work is you put keywords inside, and I'll actually show you some of those real quick. You come up with a campaign, and then you have different keywords. You can see right here on this specific campaign, we put keywords here, and when those keywords get triggered by a search, you get added into an auction. And what I mean by that is Caraway Home and Made in Cookware are not the only two sites out there looking for people searching for pots and pans, right? But their two ads showed up because they won the auction. The auction, and once again, this is going to be something I want you to do more research on, but I'm just going to give you a high-level overview here. The auction has three main components. There's a dollar component, meaning what's your maximum bid. There's an ad component, meaning how good is your ad. And there's a landing page component, meaning how good is where you're sending people after they click the ad. A lot of people start with the ad first. I'm going to always encourage you to start with the end in mind, meaning if you want to do some advertising for your business and you want to promote pots and pans, you need to know your website is ready for that. right? So I've never been to this Caraway cookware, but let's go ahead and we'll open that in a new tab to take a look at it. And this is bringing us to the Caraway collection, unlock free shipping, immediately a promotion to try to get our email address. And now we can see the pots and pans, the cookware sets that are available. I want to make a point here. They didn't send us to the home page where we had to go find the pots and pans, right? They sent us to the page for the thing we were actually searching for. And the reason why this is so powerful is this doesn't just have to be retail. I mean, I know there's all of us out here, have, not all of us, but there's some of us in this that don't have a physical product we're selling. Maybe we're selling a service. So this could be lawyers near me, or, whatever you're selling. This is really, really powerful because you can create an ad based specifically on what people are searching. So it can be very buyer intent. Now, if you had a low budget, I'm sure Caraway Home has a much bigger budget, which is why they come up for pots and pans. But if you had a smaller budget, maybe you'd want to show up for pots and pans for sale, right? Somebody that's actually showing that they're interested in buying pots and pans. And all of a sudden you can see we have new people popping up here that have won that auction, but also because most likely these people are not just wanting to show up for pots and pans, they want to show up for pots and pans for sale. And so in a search campaign, the most time intensive thing for a search campaign is two things. One, it should be the page you're sending people to, but two, it should also be thinking through your keywords. Now, I said we're not going to go real deep on all of these, but I do want to make a point on this because this is where you can spend a lot of money. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. I want to share a different screen here. And I'm just going to go to this Word document. And so let me make this text a little bigger so you guys can see it. So there's a thing called broad match keywords. Okay. Broad match keywords are essentially keywords that you give Google a lot of flexibility in what people are searching for. So if we had the word pots and pans, and this is why I really want you to think about this as just a broad match keyword. Well, say I sell pots and pans, and to me that sounds good. Great. I want to do a keyword that's pots and pans and broad match. Great. Well, let's think about all the other things that could come up with just the word pots and pans. Colors of pots and pans, or what comes up when we search pots and pans? I shouldn't have chose pots and pans. This is not one I've done before, so we might switch somewhere else. Let's go to guitar. Is everybody okay with that? Can we switch to guitar? You're gonna have a much better experience if I do guitar as a broad match, okay? So say I sell guitars on a website, right? Which is what Guitar Center does. Well, if I just do broad match guitar and I have a guitar retail business, I'm essentially telling Google, listen, guitar and anything related to guitar, I'm open to have ads show up for. Well, now let's talk about that. We could talk about, you could talk about anything from how to play guitar, the history of guitar, the most popular songs on guitar. If I'm not a lesson site, if I'm a guitar site, I don't care about people looking for lessons, but I'm going to show up for people looking for lessons. Literally any phrase that has the guitar in it, or even in broad match, you actually give Google the permission to even interpret that word a little bit. So it might not even say guitar. It might show up things for mandolin or ukulele, or maybe even drums, something like that. So broad match, the danger and the risk I see a lot of people running into is they start a keyword campaign, and I'll just show you. So if we went here, all campaigns, and sorry, let me go here. There we go, new campaign. And we wanted to do website traffic, and we wanted to do a search campaign, and we'll just do, and it'll ask you for your website. And once again, we're not going real into how to this. I just want to show you in Google Ads where this happens. So once you're in here, you will see that it first gives you, locations and all of that, which is awesome. Then you can choose audiences. We will go over this in a second. Bidding, and if we continue, We're going to have ad groups here. And now you can see there's this box for keywords. So any keyword I put in here, and it's going to pull keywords from your website to start, just to give you a place to launch off. But you can see down here, this is one of the most important things you can see. Right here it says, and I'm going to copy and paste this so you can see this on this page. Oh, sorry, you can't you can't see the keyword. Sorry. I keep forgetting we're on Zoom. Okay, but here's what I wanted to show you, and then we'll get back to the other page. So if it's just the keyword, it's broad match. And sorry, I can't see the chat when I'm sharing my screen. So that was probably a weird moment for all of us for a second, but the keyword itself is broad match. So if we have the keyword guitar, we're going to show up for almost anything. The next one is called phrase match. So if I did guitar for sale and I put parentheses around it, now that phrase guitar for sale has to be in the Google search. So this could say guitar for sale near me. It could say electric guitar for sale. It could say acoustic guitar for sale. It could say kids guitar for sale. It could say cheap guitar for sale. It could say beginner guitar for sale. It could say anything on the front or back of that, as long as guitar for sale is in. That's called phrase match, okay? So phrase match is where the phrase has to be in the search term that somebody is searching for on Google, okay? I always tell people, if you don't have an extraordinary budget, then you probably don't want to do broad match. And normally when we do broad match, if you have a budget to spend on broad match, it's normally to discover which keywords people are searching for, so that over time you can tighten it down into phrase match or into exact match. So when you put the brackets around the word, now we're on exact match. Exact match means this is the thing somebody is searching for, okay? So theoretically, and there is a little bit of looseness to this, though, but theoretically speaking, if I have the term guitar for sale and somebody searches for beginner guitar for sale, my exact match keyword will not show up because my exact match is guitar for sale. So even though the word guitar for sale is here, that is not an exact match. This would have to say beginner guitar for sale to be an exact match. So the reason why this is so important is because if you are spending dollars advertising, getting clicks, you want to make sure you're getting the right clicks, right? And that is why understanding these is so important. Now, that was a quick overview. I don't want to spend too much more time here, but I need you to know that this is a thing. So if you start doing search-based ads, then you need to dig into this significantly. Okay, I'm going to stop this and we're going to go back over to Google Ads. And here we are. And I want to show you now what was behind the curtain just a couple minutes ago, which is new campaign. And I'm going to do website traffic, and we're going to do search. And then you type in the business website here. Continue. Okay. Campaign name, network. So once again, a lot of the different ad campaigns, we're going to go over this because a lot of them use all of this. So this is, once again, quick overview. Networks. So we have search network and display network. We're going to do search network here. So search network, that's what we're talking about right now, is when somebody types into the Google search engine and it pops up in search, okay? Then you do get the ability to choose where locationally your ads show up. This is really important for all the different campaign types, because if you're a local business like a restaurant or a coffee bar, or you're a service business that only services local, then you don't want to show up for all countries and territories, right? You want to show up locally. So you can enter a location and you could say San Luis Obispo right here, and you can see San Luis Obispo County, or I have the city here, which is 150,000. So I can target, exclude, or do nearby for any location. So once again, thinking through that, we could choose California, but exclude certain cities. We could choose the US and exclude certain states. We could say, okay, San Luis Obispo City and nearby areas. You could choose just certain cities. If you have an office in San Luis Obispo and in Bakersfield and in Santa Barbara, you could choose just those 3 cities. So if we did San Luis Obispo and we targeted, and then we can enter another one, and we did Santa Barbara, right here, and then we could target that. And so now we'd have San Luis Obispo plus Santa Barbara, right? So you'd want to make sure those locations are dialed. For languages, it's going to auto-populate English. If your website and your business services other languages, make sure you put it there. And then we can add audiences to our campaign. This is, these are called kind of infinity audiences. You can choose, now the website I put in there is a painter. So you can see it showed audiences for us for painting services. So based on advertisers like us, paint, home improvement. So we can kind of choose these broader audiences if we want, for people that are searching for things like what we're doing. One of the balances we run into in San Luis Obispo specifically, and in towns that are smaller, is all of these kind of filter down options sound really good until you realize you've chosen so many ways to filter down the audience that there's really not enough search traffic to even spend your budget. So one of the things I suggest, if you're targeting just San Luis Obispo, sometimes things like this can actually be more of a hindrance than a help. You're going to have to make that decision, but it is it's important that your audience size is big enough so you can actually show ads to people. Now here's where your budget is, and we're going to set a daily average budget for the campaign. This is always a question that comes up. What should your daily average budget be? In AdWords, it's all over the place. I will say the average cost per click right now, I think is in, like, across all industries, is in the $2 to $3 range. So, if you have a $15 budget, you might get 6 or 7 clicks out of that. So the thing with search campaigns is, generally speaking, when I'm talking with people, they are the largest budget campaigns of any of the ones we're going to talk about, because $2 to $3 per click is actually pretty high. Now, it's high because these campaigns are really easy to do. I just need some text. I don't need a picture. I don't need a video. I just put some text out there. It's also why it's so important to understand your keywords, because you don't want to be paying $3 a click for keywords that don't matter to you, right? So I'm just going to put $30 in there just for the sake of argument here. And then it asks you what you want to focus on, right? So we have conversions, we have conversion value, clicks. Those are kind of the 3 main ones. You can set up through, if you go to tools and settings, there's a section here called conversions. You can set up different conversions on your site. So that could be a sale. It could be somebody signing up for a newsletter, or, contact information, a form to fill out. So that is, you'll want to make sure those things are set up so you can track how well your campaign is or isn't doing. Now down here, there's a bunch of different site link extensions. These are specific for search, these search campaigns. So we won't go too deep into them. They're pretty self-explanatory if you do dig into them later on. But here's finally the page I wanted to show you, which is the actual keyword. So this is the box where we're going to put those keywords in. And you can see Google goes to the website that we've put in here and pulls out keywords that it thinks it should be good, broad match. Now notice, remember that page I showed you, there was no brackets, no quotations around these words, which makes them broad match. So now you can see on the right, ad group 1, based on a cost per day of $30, our average cost per click. Now, the average cost per click in certain industries is extremely high. When I said the average across everything was between $2 and $3, that does mean everything. Service industry, so painters, plumbers, anybody in those kind of trades, the cost per click is definitely higher. For legal, lawyers, CPAs, things where there's a definite high value per client, the cost can get much higher. I've done some work with lawyers that are averaging, that are willing, not just averaging, but willing to spend $50 to $100 a click. And that is a reality in a lot of big cities, that San Diego, Austin, Texas, Los Angeles, those costs per clicks get really, really high, but the average value for them acquiring a new client, they make a lot of money on that. So I bring that up because in this world of painting, the average cost per click is going to be $11, $12, $13, $14. It's a highly competitive market, big margins. People have money to spend on advertising. And you can see that if I'm spending $30 a day, they're anticipating I'm going to get 3 clicks per day. Now, once again, now I want to go through here and I'm going to get rid of a lot of these because I want to show you what happens, as I change it to just one broad match keyword, it's going to 0 clicks per day, and it changes to where my cost per day is only $3.04. Now, remember, I put in a budget of $30. So why did my cost per day go down to $3? Well, that's because Google is making an assumption based on the targeting we have that there's not enough people in our targeted audience to even show up enough in ads to even spend our budget every day, which is pretty shocking. So essentially, you never want that, right? So this is saying 0 clicks per day with your average cost per click of $19.15, essentially saying you'll get a click every couple days. It won't be every day. And then you'll see as I put even, these quotations around it, that it'll probably change even more. Yep, cost per day, 65 cents. So by being exact, my cost per day has gone down to 65 cents. Now it's lowered my average cost per click, but I'm still, it'll be 8 or 9 days before I even get a click. Now, for lower budgets, you don't want just one. Obviously, you don't want one keyword. You'd want a whole bunch of keywords. But, let's kind of, if we took out most of these, and let's put some, let's do this one, phrase match. And this one, phrase match. We'll do some phrase match here and just see how the numbers change up a little bit. Here and here. And so, still 0 clicks a day, 203 is our cost, meaning that's what it's saying that we're going to, on average spend. Now, you don't get charged until somebody clicks in AdWords. So that's the other thing to keep in mind is that all of these 6 different campaigns we're about to go over, there's different triggers that trigger you actually getting charged. So when Google's telling you a cost per day of 203 but 0 clicks, what they're essentially saying is, every 8 days you're going to get a click. That click is going to cost $16.64. You divide that out by 8, and then your average cost per day is 203. But you don't actually get charged until somebody clicks on the link. That's one of the really powerful things about these search campaigns is that you're only spending money when somebody acts. So if you think about that, that's a really powerful thing, right? Because you're not just spending money. Hopefully, it's not like a TV commercial where you're putting a TV commercial out there and hopefully people go do something, but you still pay for the TV commercial. In this one, you're only paying when somebody is ready to act. So if you have a service business, that's why it's so expensive. Because if you have a plumbing business that is that does emergency service, and I'm Googling, 24-hour plumber, Templeton, California, and you pop up, the chances of me, calling you are pretty high because, my bathroom's flooding or whatever the case might be. So the more urgent the need is, and the more further down the sales funnel people are with the keywords you choose, the more valuable each one of those clicks becomes. Okay, so that is the basics of, once again, Google, these search, let's go back to where we were. To our pots and pans. Here we go. These search ads, right? So that's how these get populated. People just go into their Google, the back end there, and they type in an ad, and actually the next page, the save and continue here, is going to take you to where you're actually going to set up your actual ads and ad groups. And so you can see it gives you some options here. You just put in your URLs and your headlines, and Google is going to walk you through this. And there's a little button here where you can see where it looks like on desktop, and you can see that the formatting that looks exactly like the formatting of this. So it's going to take you step by step through creating those ads. So that is ad type number 1 in Google Ads, is search ads. Search ads have been around for a long time. I started doing search ads in the early 2000s, and how it all worked was very different. I will say this. It used to be pre-2004, it used to be just the highest bid won this spot. Okay. So what that caused is that big companies that had huge budgets were always getting the top spot, but they weren't necessarily the best candidate for the searcher. Now, the reason why Google became the #1 search engine is because they do the best job connecting what people are searching for with people that can meet the need they're searching for. So with that in mind, Google changed the whole ad auction strategy in 2005, I believe, to where the budget is a piece of it, but the budget is just a multiplier in a sense. So if you have, if you bid $1 a click, but you have an amazing ad, an amazing landing page, your chances of showing up are significantly higher. There's a thing called, Google gives you essentially a score on every ad you have, and that score is multiplied by your bid amount to give you your ranking. So real quick, so say we have a bigger company that has a huge budget and they're willing to spend $8 a click on something, but they don't spend much time on their ads. They're just really relying on just having a big budget, and their quality score is a 2. Okay. And so they have $8, quality score of a 2, 8 times 2, 16 is their rank score, if you will. Okay. Well, say we don't have that type of budget, but we have time to work on our ads. So if our budget is $4 a click, so half of what that first person was, but we really work on our ads and we get our score up to an 8, well, then 4 times 8, right, is going to be much higher, right, than the 16 that we had from our competitor, right? So 32. So even though our bid amount is lower, we will actually show up before the other competitor because the quality of our ads is higher. And Google implemented that to make sure huge companies like Geico, and I saw this actually because I had an online paintball store back then, where you would see ads come up because, you know, people would search for paintball equipment, and Geico was like, hey, people that play paintball need insurance. We might as well throw an ad up here. And so there were ads showing up for almost everything. They weren't relevant. It was all over the place. And so this new ad bidding process has really changed the whole ad dynamic to where if you have a smaller budget but have time to work on your ads and get that quality score up, then you can still win and you can still compete. So that's the quick down and dirty overview of search ads.
Steve, can I interrupt you for a question regarding that?
Yep.
Can you explain again how quality is determined by Google ranking?
Yes, thank you. So quality is a 3-tiered approach. So let's go back to my Microsoft Word document here. So your quality score has 3 elements. So it's the ad, the landing page, and that's really, I mean, the ad and the landing page are huge when it comes to the quality score. So when somebody, but it's also based on the keyword. So somebody searches for guitar lessons near me. Google is going to look at the ad and how good the ad is. And they look at a couple different things, but they also want to see, are the keywords people searching for, are they in the ad? When the ad shows up, are people clicking the ad, right? So that ad has to be very relevant to the keyword. So I've seen some ad campaigns where somebody has a single ad and they've put 30 keywords in there for that one ad. You don't want to do that. You want to have one ad and maybe 5 to 10 keywords for that one ad, because there's only so many keywords a single ad can appropriately target. Okay. So now that our ad is dialed in, we want to look at our landing page. So Google does track when people click, when they go to the page you send them to. Are they staying there, or are they just clicking and going, there's nothing here for me? Are they leaving? Google also does scrub that landing page. So meaning if we had guitar lessons near me and the page, right, the page people click onto, if it's not talking about guitar lessons, then that's going to lower our score, right? So Google scrubs the page and makes sure where we're sending people is actually a relevant place. And then each one of those is all related to the keyword, right? because the ad and landing page is going to be great for one keyword, but not for another. And using our guitar lessons example, if I have guitar lessons near me, I might have an ad and a landing page and the keyword is guitar lessons near me, and it's great. But once again, if I had a guitar shop where I had guitar lessons and I changed out that keyword with the same ad and same landing page that said guitars for sale near me, well, that's going to be a lower quality score, right? Because that's not what people are actually searching for. So in the grand scheme of things, the end of the day, Google wants ads out there that are relevant to what people are searching, that are going to give people that quality experience when they actually do click the ad. So those are the things you really want to look at. You probably have in your business, however you're making revenue, 3, 5, 10 different ways you're making revenue. Each one of those has a different ad for sure. I mean, that's the easy way to break it down by revenue source. But within each revenue source, you may have a different ad depending on how you're marketing it and targeting it. So should we go? Were there any other questions? Does that clarify a little bit there? Hopefully
it did. And she said thank you.
Awesome.
We had a question earlier, which you've kind of touched on, but I don't know if you want to touch on it again. How do you know what keywords to find? Is there a site for these?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So so there is, yeah. So let me actually share my screen again. So there are a bunch of paid sites out there for this, but the tool I'm going to give you is the free tool, which is Google. If I spell Google right here, there we go. Keyword Planner. So if you go to Keyword Planner, this is a totally free tool. All you have to do is have an ad account with Google, okay? And this tool allows you to see different keywords, suggested keywords, and it allows you to discover new keywords. So this, as well as getting search volumes and forecasts. So this one tool, you could spend hours just diving into this. So you could just start with just discover new keywords, and then you can enter in anything you want here. So we've been talking about guitar lessons, and then I can get results. And you can see I get a whole bunch of different keywords that show up here. It shows me the average monthly searches, right? So, and it shows you the trend of those searches. So you can see guitar lessons and now it's kicking up to quite a bit. So that's a pretty good keyword right now. Guitar lessons near me. Now there's a point, once again, we talked about a little bit of, we have a regional demographic of San Luis Obispo that isn't a huge amount of people. So this is an average nationally. So you have to kind of take that into account. But you can go through this and it will show you those keywords, monthly searches, how much competition there is. So the competition is a huge piece of it. So guitar lessons near me, you see there's medium competition. Learn to play guitar is high. So you're going to have more people in the auction that you're competing against, the more competition there is. And you can see top of page bid, low range, and top of page bid, high range. So this is essentially showing you about the budget range for each of these keywords, the estimated budget range, depending on your ads and quality and things like that. But this is the estimated range. So you can see here something like this where guitar lessons, low competition, here's kind of the average. And if you were able to take that keyword and target the area you were in, we could make this a good one because there's high volume of search, relatively low cost. But this is the tool I would start with because it does give you a lot of information. As a matter of fact, a lot of paid tools have an API that connects to this that just reference this. So you can create keyword plans, you can save these keywords, all sorts of things. So that would be the main tool that I would send people to at this point.
All right, thank you. That's it for questions right now.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about on our journey of 6 different ways you can advertise through Google is what's called display campaigns. Now, when you're in your Google Ads account, okay, once again, when we go to, let this load real quick, new campaign, and you hover over these different types of goals, you're going to see that we have display down here in a lot of these. Well, display.
Did you want to be sharing your screen right now, Steve?
I am the worst at this. Oh my gosh. Yes, thank you for catching me. When do we get back to in person? And I don't have to think about that. Soon. Okay. Anyway, so in here, in your Google ad, right, you see in here that when you hover over each one, you'll see that under campaign types, there's display. Display advertising. So this is a site Engadget, but you all know what display advertising is, whether you realize it or not. So display ads are these ads that show up on websites all over the world. You see one right here from Upwork. And this is a display ad. It's an ad that displays on a website, right? As we scroll down a little more, there's another one here. And then we have sponsored links. And then even if we click into one of these articles, I'm sure we have another display ad right here. So display ads are literally ways for you to get on websites that you can display your visual ad on, and you can get on the world's biggest websites out there, right? I don't know if I have, let's see. Let's go to NewYorkTimes.com and just see what happens here. So here you go, right at the top, NewYorkTimes.com. This ad up here is a display ad from B&H, right? So display ads are ads where you create images. And there's a bunch of different ways to do this. Once again, this is one of those things where if display ads feel interesting to you, then you definitely want to dive into learning more about display ads, because there are requirements for sizes and images and things like that. But you can literally show up on the world's biggest websites. And the beauty about display ads is they are significantly less expensive to run than search ads. The balance with that, though, is that on a display ad, you're not necessarily displaying your ad to somebody that's interested in your service right now, right? On search ads, we can put a search phrase in there, or what we want to show up for somebody that's looking for guitar lessons right now. On display ads, if we're displaying for guitar lessons, well, they might have shown interest at some point, but we don't know for sure they're interested right now. Now, one of the things to take into account with display ads, one of those powerful tools for display ads, is remarketing or retargeting. So that's where when somebody goes to your website, they get tagged, right? And then when we show display ads, we can choose the audience of people that have already been to our website. By the way, that's why I'm getting this B&H ad, because I like going to bnh.com. And when I go to this site, I get tagged, right? And now when I go to other websites where they allow display advertising, B&H is showing me ads because they know I've been to their site. So for me, what I tell most people is display advertising can be great for brand awareness, right? Not everything we do in marketing, it's just a truth. Not everything in marketing generates a sale right then. Marketing is about creating awareness about your company so that when somebody is ready to buy, you become first, top of mind. Now, so you can use these display ads as top of funnel, right? Like maybe you're using these because they're much less expensive to just create awareness about the company, the brand, things like that. You can take that all the way down the funnel to showing display ads, if you have enough traffic on your website, to people that have been to the website, and now you're showing display ads to them. And this is, these ads show up everywhere. I don't know. Oh, yep. See, KSBY, our local news. Here's an advertisement right here. Here's B&H again. They're after me. They're after me everywhere. So, here's actually another ad right here. This banner ad, this Bowflex banner ad right here. So there are many different types of display ads. I mean, you could be on Yahoo, and you're going to see they will often show display ads. Let me jump into finance. Maybe it's yep, there you go. The ads are going to show up right there. You see how it's white there for a second? It's because that's actually doing the auction, figuring out the auction, figuring out who should show up. And there it is. So those are display ads. Okay, that's about as far as we're going to go with those. You need to know they exist. If they sound interesting to you, I am going to give you some resources to learn more about that on your own. Number 3. Well, I'm going to do number 4 first. And then we're going to get to number 3. Number 4/3 is shopping ads. So if you are selling a product, if you have a Shopify site or a WooCommerce site or something like that, these shopping ads are very powerful. So these aren't these ads. So you see I have pots and pans for sale here, but you can see these ads down here. So where it actually shows me an image of the product, it shows me the title, it shows me the price, it can show me the rating if I want. This is all advertising, right? And what I don't want anybody on this webinar thinking is that this is just for the big boys. This is for anybody that has some marketing budget. You can do this, okay? So these display ads are very, very powerful. So if I typed in Gibson Les Paul for sale, which is a type of guitar, you'll see right here, here are these shopping ads, Guitar Center, American Musical. I mean, how powerful is this? Okay, if you are selling a product, you need to be thinking about shopping ads. Because if I'm searching for a Gibson Les Paul for sale, what catches my eye first on this page? Obviously, it's the image of the thing that I just searched for that I want to buy, right? And so this is why shopping campaigns are so powerful. Now, the nice thing is once you understand the Google Ads platform, you will know if we hit new campaign here, you'll see that you can just go here, website traffic, shopping right here, right? So we can click here and then we can choose shopping ad. And then we can just go on. Now you will have to have a merchant center. So you have to look up Google Merchant Center. That's what connects your website's products to Google. But the point I'm making here is that Google just walks you through the whole process, right? They want, let's be honest, Google wants to take your wallet and they want to take, they want to take the money you have in your wallet, right? Do I have any money? Yep. 2 kids, I have $1. Google wants to take the money you have in your wallet and put it in their wallet. So they make it as easy as possible to do that. The benefit is that now you are, by the end of this, you're going to feel empowered to advertise anywhere and everywhere on the internet, right? Those display campaigns are going to put you on a ton of different websites. The next campaign we're going to talk about is extremely powerful too, which is video campaigns. But the shopping one, I wanted to just let you know it exists because it's so important for those of you that are selling physical goods through your website. Okay, number 3/4, remember we switched those 2 around, is we are going to do a video campaign. Oh my gosh, I love video campaigns. I think they're amazing. I typed in here guitar lesson, okay? And you can advertise on YouTube. You can advertise on YouTube through the Google Ads platform. Any one of these that says video is going to give you an option of how you would like to advertise on Google and other what they call search partners. So a lot of other websites and that have the ability to play video, you can actually advertise on there. You guys have probably all done it. If you go to a news site before you watch the news story, maybe an ad will show. Those are all things that you can do. So here I'm in YouTube and I search guitar lesson. Now I kept this one up because I thought it was interesting. The ad on this page right here is actually for online K-8 science lessons. So they are showing this ad for people that are looking for guitar lessons. And I'm guessing it's because they're finding a lot of parents are searching for guitar lessons for their kids. So they want to show this video. Now, the nice thing about YouTube is in this type, this is what's called a discovery ad. I only pay if somebody clicks on this and watches it. Now, how powerful is that? I mean, think about that for a second. I can show up as the top search in YouTube by just running an ad. And the beauty about YouTube advertising, the thing that gets me so excited about YouTube advertising is it's still really inexpensive to advertise on YouTube. Most YouTube advertising campaigns that I see, the cost per view is between 3 and 8 cents. Now think about that. If you could pay 5 cents on average to have somebody view a video about your business, you would do that all day long. Well, YouTube gives you the ability to do that. Now, because it's in the Google Ads campaign, we can target who sees these ads, right? We can target the location of those people. We can target, if they've been to our website. We can target the age of those people. We can target some of their interests. YouTube advertising is so powerful because you can actually target specific channels. I know for a fact Marty here, Marty Music, has a couple million subscribers. So if you ran a guitar lessons thing, you could run ads just on his channel if you wanted. There's so much you can do with guitar lessons that, with YouTube advertising. It's amazing. So this is one type of ad, right? The discovery ad. Now, a lot of you know this type of ad, which is the pre-roll ad, right? So if we play this, it's just going to play. And these are the ads we're all familiar with. Once they get to 5 seconds, you can skip the ad. And this is on Marty's channel, the same guy as the video we saw. This ad you can do. You can make a pre-roll ad that now will click directly over to your site for, get your free trial, get whatever you want, book a vacation, do, whatever you're trying to do. You can make these pre-roll ads. Now, a couple things. Here's a couple pitfalls with these ads. Google charges you 2 different ways for these ads. One, if somebody clicks on your link. If your call to action is go here to book an appointment and somebody clicks that, they're going to charge you. The other way is if somebody watches 30 seconds or more of your ad. So one thing, the one pitfall I see people run into is they'll do these pre-roll ads, but the ad will only be 20 seconds long. Well, if your ad is less than 30 seconds, then Google charges you every single time it's played. So just a good rule of thumb, make sure your pre-roll video is 45 seconds to a minute. A nice little tip that I always give people is at like 20 seconds, give people an option to opt out. And the best example I've seen, just because, obviously I'm into guitars, but you can equate this to your own business. There's a good guitar ad out there right now that says, at about 20 seconds, it says, if you know how to play basic chords and you know how to strum the guitar, this course is not for you. Go ahead and skip this ad and enjoy the video you're about to watch. The reason why that's such a big deal is because they're trying to get people that are not good fits for the ad off the ad before 30 seconds so that they don't have to pay for that person's view, right? So that's really, really cool. So this is the pre-roll video, and you'll see down here as we scroll down, here we have a display ad right here. And sometimes you'll even see ads down here also that are more discovery ads. I mean, I want to just take a second and talk about how powerful this YouTube video advertising can be. So regardless of what your business is, there are probably people searching on YouTube to learn more about it. So if you take people on exotic vacations, there are probably people searching for things like, best exotic vacations. Now, wouldn't you want your video to show up right here if that's what you did, right? And maybe, and then on this video, so this has 17 most beautiful islands in the world, 1.7 million views. You in Google Ads, when you are putting your ad together, you can actually choose this specific video to show your ad in front of. You can say, this is the video that I want to show my ad in front of. Think about how powerful that is. I've always talked about, when people are looking for parts for their car, Honda Civic, I believe, is still one of the top cars to like soup up. But if we did like Honda Civic modifications, if you sold Honda Civic parts for modifications, wouldn't you want to show up above these videos? Wouldn't you want to show up in the video that has almost 1 million views in 6 months, right? We click this. This could be your ad. Hey, I sell the best parts at the best price to Honda Civic parts. That's a horrible ad. Don't take that one. But you could show up right there. Now, remember, we're not just talking about a national or an international audience here. You can target people that are just in San Luis Obispo watching YouTube. So if you have a local business, your ad can show up right there. And it doesn't have to be based on, the video itself. We can use those affinity audiences, like things that people generally like. I could show up just to people who like cooking. Now, B&H is showing up here because I'm part of their affinity audience, but this video has nothing to do with photography or videography. I'm seeing the ad because I'm part of the audience. So you could go either way. You can show your ad in a video that's very specific to the ad, or you can show it to the people, regardless of what video they're watching, that are interested in what you are offering. This, my friends, is huge. And so many small businesses, even medium-sized businesses, don't take advantage of this because there's one big hurdle. And that hurdle is you have to make a video. And so what happens is you'll notice here, the easiest ad to get involved with is search, right? We talked about that. All I need is some text. I don't have to do anything else. I could get a search campaign up in 10 minutes. Now, would it be a good one? Probably not, because you want to do the research, but it's the easiest to get into. It's also the most expensive. Why is it the most expensive? It's the most expensive because it works, but also because the most amount of businesses are putting money there because it's easy. It's just easy. And that's the bottom line. It's easy. I can target people right, when they're in their buying decision. Everything about it is kind of easy. And then we move to the display ad campaign, right? The display ads are not as easy because I have to create an image, and they're less expensive than the search ads, but more expensive than the video ads. And so now then we have search, right? Like I can go onto Canva or PicMonkey or Photoshop or wherever I create images, and I can create an image and I can have a display ad up and running. Then we get over to YouTube, where the supply demand curve is much different. There's a lot of supply available for ads, and the demand is meaning that you can get clicks. I have a buddy that's running a ad campaign right now that's getting like a penny a view on YouTube, which is crazy to think about. I mean, how far your marketing dollars could stretch. So you spend money on the video, or maybe you can do it yourself. You have a cell phone, you get a decent mic, you make it happen. It's the least expensive, but there's the biggest hurdle, right? That's the kind of dynamic we're talking about here. It's like, you can, if you don't have a huge marketing budget, put the effort and energy into creating an ad and get some YouTube ads up and running, right? Now, then you don't have to spend a lot of money a day. I tell people with YouTube ads, I mean, you can spend $5 to $15 a day and get some decent results because of the cost difference there, okay? So there you go. That is video ads on YouTube. There's so much there. You really have to dig into it. Okay, the next one, number 5, and you can just you'll just have to look at my face at this point, because number 5 is app campaigns. So there are specific campaigns to promote your app across different channels, if you will. So you can do it against, like, your app can show up in Google search, it can show up in Google Play, YouTube Discovery, and also on all of those sites that Google has and all the apps that Google advertises in, right? Like, so you've all had an app on your phone that's free, and there's normally advertising in it. That's how they're paying to have that. So if you have an app, which, this is why we're not spending a lot of time here. It's a very specific niche audience, but you can use app campaigns to get downloads of your app. Jumping in to what could be, for some of you, the most important, that is Google Local. And I'm not going to forget to share my screen here again. I'm going to do it. Here we go. Awesome. Okay. Let's go to Google here. And let's say, awesome. Okay. Is everybody familiar with the Google 3-pack? This is for a local business. So once again, local business, maybe you're a service business, maybe you are a restaurant, a coffee shop, a florist, a plumber, whatever you're doing. This Google 3-pack is becoming more and more and more powerful, okay? And because, once again, if I'm looking for a lawyer near me, I mean, you can see all these text ads, are popping up. But when I go here, I actually see a map of where these people are. Look at this amount of real estate I'm getting. And then I have a website or directions right here. And if I click on this map, you can see now that we have ads here in the top left. Now, this is part of the Google local ad, okay, is that now I can show up in the Google local. Now, sometimes you will start seeing ads here too, depending on the region, what you're trying to show up for, all of that. I would guess within a couple years, you will see ads on this every single time you search. Google has been slowly rolling this out. They started about, 2.5 years ago, maybe now. But the Google local search will make sure you show up in these local searches, because especially when you look at something like this. So lawyers near me, this is, sorry to jump back and forth. I just had a thought over here. But these results in this 3-pack are very much driven by where I'm sitting, right? Lawyers near me these are probably the 3 closest law offices to where I am sitting, right? Because I'm sitting, pretty close here. So these are probably the 3 closest lawyers. Now, for a lot of us that are local businesses, we would want to show up in that 3-pack, but maybe we're 3 or 4 miles away. You know, if you're in San Luis and somebody is searching over by the airport and you happen to be over near, Foothill, you don't want to not show up. I mean, you're still in San Luis, you're still local, right? So that's where those local ads come into play, is that we can now start showing up. And once again, depending on the business and depending on a couple factors, maybe it's here, but at least it's here, right? When people go look at this long line of different businesses, that you could show up here right at the top of that list. That, for a local business, is extremely powerful. And then once again, it goes straight to the website. So if we hit website here, there we are, right? Now notice, and I believe he does business outside of the Central Coast, but you see the page it established Central Coast personal injury attorney. There's no connection here. I was just searching lawyers. So, so let's try a couple other things near me. How about, see if there's any ads for coffee shops. No, nothing coffee shops. Maybe, oh yeah. So plumbers, right? Got plumbers showing up here. We'll go back, ads for plumbers. I was hoping that one would show up here, but not yet. So that's okay though. But that Google local is, and this is not that expensive either. Now, something you want to do, so this is kind of going to be a 2-in-1 tip here. You need to go to Google My Business, which is, if you just search Google My Business, okay? You need to sign up for this account. This is where Google is driving. This is where Google is getting the information that's filling out that 3-pack. Okay. So you can see they're using Chicago Music Exchanges as an example, which is kind of funny. But this is where you're going to go in. You're going to set up a business profile. You're going to set up pictures of the business, location, hours, all of that. And if we look here, you see where it says open 24 hours, closes at 5. This is where it's driving all that information. That Google My Business account, I always tell people, for the best results, you got to give Google what they're asking for. So when you go into Google My Business, it'll ask you for, hours you're open, contact information, locations. It'll ask you for pictures of the outside of the building, pictures of the inside of the building. Anything you can give Google, you want to give them. Because, once again, we talked about earlier, Google's whole job is to match people who are searching for something with the best fit. Well, the more information you give them, the more they can discover if you're the best fit. And they really like it when people fill out that Google My Business. Now, the other reason that's important is when you're doing an ad in Google with a local ad, Google My Business connects to your Google Ads account and feeds the information in, just like with the ad, the product ad, where it feeds in from Google Merchant Center. This feeds in from Google My Business. So the 3-pack, the Google local, I mean, this is becoming such a powerful tool for local businesses that I want you to show up organically without paying for it, which is why I want you to really dig into Google My Business. But also, as far as an ad perspective, this can be a really strong tool for you to make sure you're running ads there. Okay, so that is the Google local campaigns, and that is all 6 of the campaigns. So let's go over those real quick, the 6 different campaigns that you can run in Google, and then I'm going to give you a tool to learn some more about it, and then we're going to maybe open it up for Q&A here in the last 20 minutes. So let's go over the 6 different campaigns that you can do in Google, right? Once again, we're filling your tool belt here. So one is Google search campaigns. That's where somebody searches on Google and your ad will show up in text. Number 2, we have display campaigns. Those display campaigns are images that are going to populate on millions. I think it's over 3 million websites that Google has partnership with. I'm sure it's more than that now. That your ad can show up, and you can have that ad show up because of what's called an affinity audience, meaning somebody's interested in the thing you're selling, or it can be because somebody's been to your website. There's different ways you can make those displays show up, but the display ad is number 2. Number 3 is we have video campaigns. Those video campaigns allow us to take advantage of the second largest search engine in the world, YouTube, and they are a very, very, very low cost, and you can get really creative and make awesome, awesome videos. You can also do remarketing with videos. I don't know if I mentioned that, but that's where people go to your site and then go to YouTube. That's what the B&H video ad was doing with me. It was retargeting me because I had been to B&H's website. Number 4, we have shopping campaigns. So if you have, in the last, maybe not in the last, but a lot of people in the last year or 2 have set up Shopify sites or WooCommerce sites. This is where you can get those products out there on the shopping. Right when people search Google, you'll show up in those shopping listings. Number 5 is your app campaign. So if you do have an app, you can promote your app right through the Google Ads dashboard. And number 6 is those local campaigns. Okay, so now I've just given you the 6 ways you can advertise on Google. The reality is, before you go spend your marketing dollars, you need to dig in to whichever one of those is going to be most relevant to you. So one place I like to go is Skillshare. You could go to Udemy. There's a lot of different online courses, okay? But Skillshare, I'm going to put a link to this in the description here. Skillshare is a site that allows you to, it's $15 a month. So if you click the link, and I think it's a 14-day free trial. So if you click that link and sign up, at least get the 14-day free trial. But if you sign up, Skillshare is like a Udemy, if you're familiar with that, but there's hundreds of thousands, I would guess, different courses on Skillshare. One area they have is definitely Google Ads. So when you sign up, like I said, it's $15 a month, but that gives you access to unlimited courses. So other course websites, how they work is it's, you pay $10 to $50 to $100 for the course, and then you own the course. This is a little bit different where it's a monthly fee, but you can access as many courses as you want. So Google Ads, this one right here, Digital Marketing, the Complete Google Ads Masterclass. This is a good one. You can see this is 13 hours long.
Steve, did you want us to be seeing your screen?
We need a jar. Like when you have a jar when your kids say bad language and they put $1 in?
Yeah.
I feel like I need a $1 jar. Okay. For every time. So I owe you like $4 now, I think. Is what
Are we up to 4 already?
I think
I thought we were only at 2. I'll take it.
Okay. So here, we'll start over. So this is Skillshare. So once again, Skillshare, you pay $15. You can get access to any courses you want. You can see browse. There's everything here. So if you wanted to get into the ads world, what I would do is I would search Google Ads. Okay. Digital marketing right here. This one, it's 13 hours long. I just want to make a point here. This is the type of in-depth research you want to do before you start spending a lot of money. Like if you're going to go spend $100 on a campaign to test it out, fine, do that. But when you make this a serious part of your marketing effort, you want to have the knowledge. You want to understand why things are going certain ways. This course is awesome. And like I said, you get that 14-day free trial. So you could get in here and you can see they talk about everything in this course, okay? Keywords, negative keywords, split testing. I mean, all sorts of different stuff. They get into YouTube. Something like this could be an awesome tool. But here's what's cool also, once again, I'm just trying to empower you here with something like Skillshare, is say you decide YouTube is like totally for you. You could do video production, and you could find a course on how to record videos with green screen, or whatever you need to do to make your ads work, whatever you need to be creatively. And I would even take this past the ads. Anything in your business you need, you could find a course on it, a pretty good course on whatever you need. Maybe you need photography because you want to do some display ads with photography, right? And we have photography, iPhone photography, how to take pro photos on your phone, right? I mean, this is something you could really do and really dig into. And these courses are not that long. So for an hour, you spend an hour, you learn how to do great photos on your phone. You can use those for your display ads, or maybe you use those for some B-roll cuts and stuff like that in your videos. So there you go. Outside of my inability, it seems like, to remember to switch to the new screen, that is what I wanted to empower you with. I think we have about 15 minutes if we want to open it up for Q&A at this point.
Okay, we don't have any questions in there right now. We'll give people a time to type, but I'm almost up to a venti cup of coffee. So let's
I know
keep
you
going.
are. We're going to be filling up this cup of coffee by the time we're done. I have a feeling. Oh, that's so funny. This is why, it's, I'm sure you get this from a lot of people, but just being able to just have a whiteboard, in front of everybody. But other than that, we can, how did you get trending keywords to show on your Google page? Excellent question. Look, I'm not adding to the coffee fund. I'm hitting share screen. Here we go. Okay. So what's being referenced there is, I'll type in guitars as a search. And on the right here, you can see I have trending data here. This is a tool, a plugin called Keywords Everywhere. You can see it's right here, Keywords Everywhere. And I think that'll take me to the website. Yep, there you go. Keywords Everywhere. So keyword research for you as you go. It's on Chrome and Firefox. And the cool thing about Keywords Everywhere is it's really inexpensive. So $10 buys you 100,000 credits. Credits are only used when you load metrics. So you can kind of see the trend here. If we did like the last 12 months, there's the last 12 months. But then you can see the trending keywords. And let me see if I have any. I don't have any credits in my account right now. But if you did that, it would load metrics of, search volume and I believe it's search volume and competitive score. And it's really cool. I mean, I love this because once again, it does give you a good idea, even of the free version, of just how things are trending over time. And you can see like things like guitar from 2016 to 2020. You can see it's, there's peaks during November, December, during the holiday season, and it goes from there. And then it shows you other trending keywords that are relevant. So here's how you can use this totally free, right? Remember we talked about that Google Keyword Planner. These are in order as far as like volume. So you could take this Firefly Guitars website or whatever it is, Firefly Guitars, put that into the Google Keyword Planner and see what that comes up with. And that's a totally free way to really do some really powerful keyword research. Another site which is good is Sem Rush. This is more of a premium product, but this tool is good for keywords and SEO things, but you can also find keywords through this, as well as see your competitors' keywords. This actually has a lot of really neat features. I think it's about $100 a month, though. $120 a month is what that one runs. But that does allow you to put like a competitor's website in, and then you can see what ads they've run in Google, and it'll show you past historic ads, so you can actually reference their ads for your ads. So that's kind of cool too. Okay, let's see. I'll be teaching at the end of the month. I've been experimenting on campaign running and set up my keywords with themes. Is that at all effective? Okay. I'll be teaching that at the end of the month. I have been.
Let me explain that one. That's one of our consultants with MCSC, and we're putting on a class that she's going to be teaching about using your cell phone for advertising. How to take great photos.
Awesome. So, what you would want to, and I guess the question is their keyword with themes, is that at all effective? The broader the theme, or the broader what you're advertising for, it's just about how much money you want to spend and how, and how much you want to get out there. So when you're running campaigns based more on a theme versus like a very specific keyword, you just have to make sure you're checking the campaign and learn about negative keywords. That's where negative keywords come in. So remember how we talked about positive keywords. So if somebody searches guitar lessons near me, we're going to pop up. But there's also negative keywords, which are keywords that disallow ads, meaning I might have a positive keyword that says guitar lessons near me, but I might have a negative keyword that's drum lessons near me, because maybe I don't give drum lessons and I don't want Google to assume I give drum lessons. So when you do things that are more thematic, it's important because you can go into the Google ads and see what keywords have triggered your ads, that you're doing, that you're making keywords you don't want to show up for negative, because there's keywords out there we just never think about. So the danger of more thematic is that you could potentially be paying for a lot of ads that you don't mean to be paying for. So you just have to keep a closer eye on them and make sure you're leveraging negative keywords. The next question is, Google has called me up to set up my campaign. Can I trust this, or is this mainly a ripoff? So two things. If Google themselves are calling you, there's two different calls that happen here. Okay. If Google themselves is calling you, it's actually a decent thing. I've worked with some internal Google people. They're great. They do want to make your campaign work. That generally doesn't happen. Like Google specific people, unless things have changed, but Google specific people like that work for Google, that are employed by Google, are normally calling you once you hit a certain budget. So, once you're spending a couple $1,000s a month, they'll start calling you. There's a second group of people that are Google partners that get your name from Google when you sign up, and they will call you. They are trying to charge you to run campaigns for you. So when somebody does call you, I always ask the question, are you employed by Google or are you a partner of Google? It's two totally different people. If they're a partner of Google, they're probably trying to get you to pay for services they offer. And as a matter of fact, either way you slice it, I would jump on Skillshare and take the course anyway, because even if you're working with Google to do stuff, it's like two brains, two heads are better than one in that sense. So if you're really dialed in on the campaigns that you're running, then you can have a much better conversation with Google. Because normally when I'm talking with Google, it's larger campaigns and it's a two heads are better than one situation, meaning we're going through the campaigns together. They're giving me suggestions. I'm giving them feedback on, well, this is why or why not we're doing that. What if we did this? How would you feel about that? But you have to be educated. And I always make this point to any business, is that anything you're paying for, you should be educated on so you can have a reasonable conversation with anybody that you're paying. So that's what I would do, ask those questions. Gaze asks, what is a good number for keyword search metrics, meaning 50,000 searches, 100,000? Depends on the search word, right? I mean, you can imagine every search term is going to have a different what's good status, if you will. So things like, I don't know, performance guitar capos are going to have a much smaller amount of searches than things like coffee shops. So you have to actually use things like Keywords Everywhere or the Google AdWords Planner to determine what that search metric is for your business and what you're trying to run ads for. This question is actually a little bit deeper, because the search metrics, search metrics is, it's like the more search there is, there's a competitive matrix that kind of goes along with that. So generally the more search, the more competition, but not always, but that's generally how it works. So even if you found a keyword that was like at 1 million searches a month, you might not want to target that. You might want to say, hey, like the high is 1 million, the low is 10,000. Let's find some stuff in the middle there at like the 500,000 mark, because like the competitive matrix will be good. There's still enough searches to spend our budget. We're still happy there. So, you know, I wish I could just give you a number. Like a good number is 25,000, and that's great. Honestly, you're going to get into Google Keyword Planner, and you'll just do some searches for different industries, different topics, and you'll just see they just vary widely and greatly. But you can easily, you can, I mean, this is the beauty. You can go in there and figure out what a good number is for the exact thing that you want to search. Great question, though. Any other questions on the chat?
No one's asked yet, but
Okay.
they're going to ask, and what is your contact information? Could you put that in the chat box?
Yeah, for sure.
People always ask for that. And Gay says thank you. There we are.
Of course. And we talked about this earlier too, right before, is that, you know, if you need help with AdWords, things like that, I have great partners that I can get you connected up with. And so that's, you know, I'm happy to help find somebody for you if you have a business and you're just saying, hey, I want to do this, but I want to understand it, but I don't want to, I have better things to do with my time than try to run these campaigns. So we can definitely help in that way too.
And this is a good time for me to say thank you for everything you offer. Your webinars are always very engaging. This is Steve's third webinar with us. So if you would like to see the recordings of his other two, please contact either the Cal Poly Small Business Development Center, the Women's Business Center, or SCORE, and we can give you the link to that recording. Also, if you wanted any help with creating your own Google My Business account that he discussed today, contact one of us. We're happy to help you with that. Of course, we're all here for whatever your business needs are. So I encourage you to give us a call. Thank you so much, Steve. As always, entertaining. I'm looking forward to my cup of coffee.
That's a deal.
Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.